Good morning, Rogersville and all of Planet 417. We are live from the beautiful Jamestown Plaza in Rogersville, Missouri. We're going to be talking about Snowstorm, Super Bowl, and what Chris has been eating all next right here on The Waffle. And we are back. Wow.
Top of the morning to you.
Keaton,
Kilmer, Clooney.
Clooney, yeah.
If you know what we're talking about,
chime
comment.
Yeah.
Good morning, Beth.
Oh, there's Beth.
Did she hit it already? Good
She
morning,
did.
Beth.
The promise, sun's out with the promise of a great day. Amen.
Yes.
I like that.
Was this not the best kind of snow?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
I
Yes,
love a
it
wet,
was.
springy kind of snow.
I
and then-
refrained from posting.
I did too.
But I
didn't post
wanted to because I just want to say, listen, if you've got kids, get them out in the snow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is a snowman snowball
Yeah.
fight kind of snow.
This
good
was
stuff.
that
The
was
best
the right
kind of play
snow.
in. I saw some killer snowmen on
Did ya?
yeah, socials. That was great to see everybody's
Good stuff.
handiwork.
I did see some little kids out playing in the snow, and I was happy to see that because
Yeah.
it
So a
was-
little bit of sledding. Although I remember these are not great sledding snows. You got to pack it down
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So
Just
it takes some
pack
work.
down.
It's fantastic.
You can almost a Griswold one.
Yeah,
'cause-
for sure. Well, if you don't pack it down, you will be a Griswold snowball.
Yes.
Like you just
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we took the kids went out later in the day. It was getting a little melty at that point.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. And it was a wonderful surprise. What a gift, right?
Yeah.
crazy good. Yeah.
Snowstorm after a late Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Thumbs
a
up.
lot of people were enjoying a day off of school. Teachers getting
Yeah.
a day off from work.
Why don't they do the Super Bowl on a Saturday? What's the deal? What's the deal,
Football's
Pickle?
Pro football is a Sunday sport.
I know that, but still, I mean, like,
Well, as
Oh,
a
I
pastor,
agree.
I'm glad it's not on a Saturday.
I guess that's
I
true.
bet
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you can just.
Yeah.
I came home, watched the soccer game, took a good nap, and then I was able to enjoy the party.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
a good point. I don't know.
Well, the snowstorm was fantastic because
was.
Beautiful, huge flakes.
Yep.
Big pile up. I think at my home it's somewhere between 5 and 6 inches.
Really?
Yeah, we
Wow.
got
You got a
ton.
band.
Yeah, we got a band that came
We
through.
had like three, I would say. Two
I
or
don't know what
three.
we-
But then the sun comes out by the end of the day, and the roads are clear, and most of the snow had melted, and
That's the best kind
it
of snow.
was so great. I loved it.
Yeah,
every
it's the
part of it.
best. It is the absolute best.
I once compared, probably to my detriment, the idea like when other people schedule me, and so
Yeah.
I'm not in completely control of my calendar. So
Yeah,
I have
I
scheduling
feel that.
links. People pick a link, they schedule, and I just used to always have this like if I had a day on my calendar that was clear, it was just a beautiful thing, right?
Oh, you're like, surprise.
Do you not schedule that in now?
I can. I choose not to.
Okay,
right now,
all right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but then somebody comes in at like 1 o'clock. Boom, schedule. I'm like,
That was my day.
it's just like there's like your yard after a beautiful snow.
Somebody walked through it. Dog peed in
A
it.
dog poops in it. Yeah, right. And you're like, dang it.
Dog.
Man, just-
It was a perfect white blanket.
and now it's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that.
That's like watching for your school to run across the screen at the news on a Wednesday morning.
And the kids today will
In
never
19
get the joy of that.
No.
90 or
now
80.
they get texts.
The anticipation,
Yeah.
the hope, and the disappointment.
What was the school that came before your school? Because you remember
Licking.
that deal?
Licking,
yeah.
and Ludi.
Licking was
If you
always
went
out.
Licking, Ludi, we're like, dang it.
In Republic, I was looking at Reed Spring.
Yeah.
Right? And then it was like,
I don't know what was
Republic.
before
No,
Houston.
And Rogersville. No,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, 'cause it was
we were
LR.
Logan
You were
Rogersville.
Logan
We were
Rogersville.
Logan Rogersville, which is why I was Licking and Ludi. Like, I hated to see Ludi.
I can't remember what was before Houston. I have no idea. Anyway.
I can't believe you don't remember that because
Yeah.
that was the
No.
thing. Because you had to
No.
pay attention. Okay. Okay. There's Reed Spring. Oh.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, those were the good old days.
That would be especially frustrating if the school in front of your school was one that always got out.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Licking.
Like Licking, yeah.
Licking was always out. They still are.
They'll be out all week.
Bless their hearts. Yeah. Yeah. They
Because
haven't-
of the mud.
they
right?
haven't
The
been to
mud.
school.
We love
since
Licking just
before.
like we love everybody else.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know
I forgot.
about
You're
that.
Planet 417.
Yeah, that's right. We're
Be
trying
kind.
we're trying to be regional here.
Now I have to tease about that because Houston and Licking are huge like rivals, right? And
Yeah.
I mean that's so Licking. I don't know. It's okay.
And funny, even in adulthood. It's like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Well,
yeah,
something
still
happened
good.
over the weekend. It was the Super Bowl.
There was an Usher concert.
There was an Usher, and I didn't watch it live because I went upstairs and I was talking to my friend Grant, and then I went back downstairs and the football game was back on. I was like, "That was quick." Where'd
You
it go?
thought it was quick.
Well, no.
You
I
thought it
mean,
was quick.
from the time I left. Okay,
We're talking halftime.
precursor. Yes, I don't usually watch the Super Bowl. I usually am around the guys that have been watching the Super Bowl for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
There's a handful of them.
I'm watching the Research Center logo
Me too.
dance
I-
on the screen.
Well, I don't know. Producer's like, I don't
He
know.
accidentally grabbed it with the click.
And so, like, we've had just a couple of guys come over and watch Super Bowl forever. And usually I'm, like, futzing around and, like, cooking something. But this year we wanted to eat before.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, yeah, I do, Emma. Yeah.
remember the school bar didn't run during the commercials? Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
just when they were about to give your school's name.
Yeah.
So
That's
this year,
commercial.
because they're Chiefs fans, and so they wanted to eat before.
Ah,
And so I
so be
actually
focused.
sat and watched the entire game.
Oh, wow.
For some reason, I didn't see any points scored because I just don't.
Well, there weren't many in the first half.
There were
just
not many in the first
It was.
half. None in the first quarter, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they scored 3 points. I thought.
Did they right at the
Niners-
end?
Maybe I don't know.
It was zeros. I think
I
to the
watched
very
the
end.
whole thing. Could I tell you about it? No, not at all.
First half was quite boring. Second half was full of entertainment.
which is a lot of NFL games now. I feel like
Yeah, it does feel like it's
they kind of kick it on in the last half.
becoming a bit more of a chess match in the first half.
So I missed the whole halftime show. So when I woke up Monday morning, snowstorm, my house was quiet. My kids were still in bed, thankfully, because they'd gone to bed way late. I watched most of the Usher halftime show. I missed the roller skating thing, but it was good. I mean, it seemed good.
It was okay.
It was
Yeah.
yeah, it was okay. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
But what it did point out to me. It's always fun when you can find out your friends that have no sense of humor whatsoever. And Facebook is a great place to do that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
true.
mean, one thing that I noticed is anybody who's Gen X is going to notice is the dude at one point was only wearing one glove. Now,
Yeah.
Right.
who is that?
Yeah, we
It's
know who
Michael
that is.
Jackson.
We know who
There's
that
only
is.
one
and
person.
so,
Yeah.
my post was, hey, the Michael Jackson impersonator they got for the halftime show wasn't
Funny.
very good. It's hilarious,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
got at least 3 hateful responses like, he was awesome. He's always awesome. Usher's the best. You
Not
know,
really.
Michael
I mean-
Jackson's not the only one that can dance. I'm like, slow your roll. Calm down.
It's funny.
Just having
It's
a good time
funny.
here.
Like, I kid. Like,
It's like, calm down. I didn't.
I did see a funny comment where somebody was like, "Why is Usher dressed like a well-to-do 90-year-old woman with a brooch?" And I was like,
It was.
"That is
Yep.
valid." He has a little princess.
For
if
me,
you can't make fun of celebrities, who can you make fun of?
yeah, well, yeah, especially Usher and the gang.
Yes, you did, Beth. Appreciate
Reba.
Reba.
Yeah.
Oh,
Reba
Reba.
doing the thing.
Okay,
with
what
the
were we gonna
stuff.
say, Ballard?
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, no. For me, the big story was the sideline bust up, blow up. I find. All right, don't be offended here. Well, you can be offended if you want. You're going to be anyway.
Go ahead, be offended. We don't care.
Yeah, well, just you're going to be. So, the Kelsey Reed blow up.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I think it's interesting because for me it tends to show just how biased we can be as people. Right?
Yeah.
If you're not a Chiefs fan, you're probably looking at that going, that's awful. What a
Call elderly abuse hotline.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You know, and oh, by the way, don't do that. You got kids watching, and
Yep.
you better not ever treat a coach like. I hope every dad in the room said, "Son, if I ever see you talk to your coach like that,
I will.
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
talk
come
to you
down
like
there.
that. You're gonna
I'll
go
come
cut
down
your
there and
own
pull you off the
switch. Yeah.
sidelines, right?"
Yeah.
But no, it's
Wouldn't it have been
interesting
awesome
that
if like Travis Kelce's dad came to get out of the football.
Come on.
yeah,
Come on,
I mean,
spanking him.
interesting to see the defense. I've been coaching a long time.
Yeah.
I've played a
Yeah,
lot of sports.
I appreciate your perspective
So,
on this.
For me, like I get it. I'm a highly emotional person.
Yeah.
Right? I don't cry. That's not my emotion. But I am an emotional person. So I get it as a player and a coach when there's kind of a spat, But to me, there was a line crossed there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
To get in a coach's face to even bump up against him. Now, I understand that what wasn't shown was an off-camera coming back together.
Yeah.
Like, hey, coach, we're on the same
Doesn't
team,
really
whatever.
matter.
Right, but
Yeah.
but
well,
to
he almost
me,
knocked him down. That was what I thought was
yeah,
disturbing.
there is no place for an
Yeah.
explosive, emotive moment where you cross that line with a coach.
Agreed.
It's one thing to say, Coach, we're not getting this right. I've been playing with you a long time. Do you trust me? Of course. You don't have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind Coach Reed trusts Kelsey and his opinion if he comes over and says, we got to get back to doing what works, and this is what works. What we're doing is not working. Like, a
Yeah.
coach is going to hear. I would hear that from a star player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I coach high school, and so they even more so have to know their lines, right? But I listen to the input of our players. At halftime, if they say, hey, Coach, this guy's doing this, and this is where they're getting us, I want to hear that. But you have to – this is my point. I'll be done with it.
No.
You have to do it the right way.
Yes.
You cannot do that to your boss, to your coach, to your teacher.
Nope.
And we have, when I see what's going on in the school systems where young people are disrespecting teachers because they
Yep.
don't understand their place, that bothers me.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a
All right,
bad
rant over.
Well,
I appreciate
I don't
your
know
rant.
if anybody knows the answer to this question, but I kind of want to know what he was mad about. I understand he was frustrated because it wasn't working. I just didn't know if he had a specific complaint.
Well,
But
I
he felt like it was Andy Reid's fault, which is why he was yelling at him, or if it was because I can see the possibility he's just like frustrated at the situation and takes it out on the coach. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's his fault. It could have been, hey, you got to have a word with Patrick because Pat's not doing this that we talked about. Or it could have been, Coach, why are you calling that play? I don't really care.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
it's the manner in which you came up. And listen, soccer is very different from football. Right, soccer, you got to be free flowing. You got to be a little bit chill. So it's a different personality. But I used to play football, so I get the. You're bashing your head against the wall, like you're bumping into each other. You're getting each other riled up before, so you have to have that kind of madness about you before you go play a football game. So I get it. I get the personality. There's still a line that you don't cross, and he crossed it.
There are millions of little football players watching these games. I had beef with him last year when he did the whole know your role and
Thanks,
shut
Beth.
your mouth.
He said that?
Absolutely.
Well,
he said it to
right
the
now,
mayor. He
let's
said it to
say it back to you right now, Kelsey. Know your role.
And shut your mouth.
Or
Appreciate the-
I won't
Yeah.
even say shut your mouth. Know your role and use your mouth appropriately.
Yeah, because I don't like. To me, saying something like "shut your mouth" is a very.
Well, you
It's
put
aggressive.
yourself.
That's aggressive. It's
I'm
very
the authoritarian
loaded.
now.
It's
I'm over you.
And he has a history. Say he was mad because he wanted to be he was mad because he wanted to be on the play that ended up being fumbled. He knew he could catch it and get it done, so he was mad that he fumbled
sure.
happened.
Yeah, that makes total sense to
Understandable.
me.
Yeah,
That'd
which
have been
thank
me,
you
it
for
wouldn't
Candy
have
throwing in.
happened. Yep.
Here's my perspective. Little eyes are watching, right? We have a problem with people and their egos not listening to authority. We also have problems with bad leadership, so it's hard to want to listen to people. But Andy Reid is
Coach
not a
Reed's
bad
a great leader, yeah.
Exactly.
And granted, that's why Kelsey came back later and said, I love that man.
Yeah.
He loves me. We have mutual
But
respect. But
kids are kids. They are sponges. They're going to see that, and they're going to go, well, my role model. And one thing Jesse and I talked about after one of our last conversations, the idea of a role model. Most parents don't say, hey, so-and-so needs to be your role model. Kids naturally adopt them, right, as they see them on TV.
Very true, Emma. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Certainly an
too.
unfair amount
Yeah.
of exposure over the line things that happen. Agreed. But here's my point. You can only excuse so much before the behavior is going to happen for the people who see it, right? It's the old battered
contagious.
wife thing. It's like, and the kids now walk around with gold chains and jerseys, and they idolize these players whether we have told them to or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to be real careful what we're encouraging. And an interesting thing, and I told this to Will, a Facebook post went around yesterday about another perspective about, the passion of Travis Kelce. A lot of women shared that. And that was interesting to me. Women felt the need to defend him. And I'm not going to comment on it because I don't really know what it means, but it was interesting.
Shanda, I couldn't agree more. And that's why I always say, I don't view players, celebrities, anybody as role models.
I don't either.
So
Yeah.
for me, yes, as a dad, it was always my job to sit with my kids and say, don't ever behave that way, right?
Yeah.
So it's my job to show them what a man looks like, not to say, hey, watch Travis Kelce. He's a great football player. Make sure you act just like him. But at the same time, I just think it's unfortunate because he is such a great player, and I love his passion.
he's a passionate guy.
I'm not dog. He's a fun player to watch. He looks like a fun person to be around. I mean, he and his brother do a fun podcast. This is not like I hate Travis Kelce. No. I hated that moment, and and this is what I wanted to get at. I hated the way that I saw people justifying his action probably because you're a Chiefs fan and you really love him. I would hope we would take a more critical look at that and go, that's no way to be.
I just wouldn't want to
and I can still like him as a player.
I just wouldn't want my kids to look up to him and dress like him.
That's understandable.
That's where I kind of draw the line.
He's a fashionable dresser.
Yeah, well.
Oh, that's so funny.
But speaking, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Will.
No, I was just going to say, we talked about Taylor Swift last week. And
2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago, okay. And I'll be honest, I've never paid any attention to Taylor Swift. I don't know much about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I probably saw more of Taylor Swift. Let's see what Shanda says. Her dude is unfair to come down. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We're with you on that.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I saw more of Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl game than I've probably ever seen of her in my entire life.
Because you don't watch Taylor Swift stuff.
And here's what I took away with, other than perhaps the beer chugging incident.
She chugged a beer.
Did she? See,
she sorority style chugged a beer.
Yeah.
I mean, she slammed it down. Yeah.
I was super impressed with her. I mean, I was like, she was great.
No,
she had every opportunity, particularly during the Lombardi Trophy awarding, to kind of draw some attention to herself.
Nope.
Stood back.
No, in fact,
clapped her hands.
I'll say this:
Beautiful.
there was a scene captured where, in the excitement of something, or maybe it was the nervousness of what was going on, she looked back to Travis's mom and grabbed her hand. She was making it about mom, not about herself.
Yeah, I was impressed.
So, I don't know how you're supposed to behave in those kind of situations. I have never been, nor will I ever be, in that kind of exposure. With the millions of people even watching the Waffle this morning, I will never understand.
We're a pretty big deal.
I got nothing to say about her, and I don't really care one way or the other.
Which is fine.
To me, in my head, as I thought about that, I really did. I was really impressed with the way she stood back. This is not my moment. Mm-hmm. I'm here.
She can't help it that the cameras are on her.
No, she can't help that.
Oh, and and I mean, she doesn't want the cameras on her in that situation.
I loved it. And I love the way always people comment and say, look, why are we mad about her supporting her man? That's what we're looking for. I'm like, that is exactly what we're looking for.
There were 100 other women doing the same thing. Yeah. They just didn't have the camera on them. And people don't know their names.
And I just, I put her in Sanda as a step back. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But you look like a Kanye West. I mean, if he's there, it's about him. It's about him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at nobody's ever going to forget when he ran up and grabbed the microphone. Was it away from Taylor?
From Taylor Swift.
From Taylor Swift. Yeah. And like, it should have been Beyonce
I don't remember
or whatever.
The thing. Yeah.
Like, dude. Slow your roll and shut your hole.
There you go.
See, that even rhymes better.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
A little Cockney rhyme in there. You could have gone British accent right there.
Call me old fashioned, right? There's certain things you do in public. There's certain things you don't. You shouldn't be disrespectful. I wasn't excited that the camera showed Taylor Swift chugging a beer. That's not a good thing for little girls to see who love Taylor Swift.
Beth, we'll stop.
And
that was kind of her.
It was.
I wish.
She said, "Know your role and slow your hole." That's what Beth just told us right there.
Yeah.
I wish that we got a big Taylor comment. I don't know if I can read all that. I just wish that we were embracing a more ladies and gentlemen approach to things.
Oh, beautiful.
Be
Well
nice.
said.
Yeah.
That's and I tell my daughters all the time, you need to be ladies.
Yep.
You need, and I don't have boys to tell them you need to be gentlemen. You can be sports boys and wear chains and be passionate, but you need to open doors for people and you need to be kind.
Just kind,
and
yeah. Thoughtful.
So
and,
that's my concern. I feel like we are really losing. And I have been ornery as ornery can be, no doubt about it. But there's a time and a place.
Yep.
That's my thought.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Well, in the end, I thought it was a good game. Because at the end of the day, the Super Bowl is actually a football game. It's not about celebrities or halftime show.
Yeah.
And what was lame maybe in the first half, I think it's a little bit like they've done their homework. They've the defense on both sides of the ball were doing really well. You can tell they've scouted the team well. And then because these guys are professionals, they're able to go in at halftime and sort out. They have an extended halftime, and they're able to really go back and look and make adjustments. And I think at the end of the day, you got to give the Chiefs a lot of credit. I'm not a Chiefs homer. Like, I enjoy them, but I'm not like
same here.
I'm not wearing red and gold all the time. But they made the adjustments, and they won the game in the end. And this is getting like, we can't say Pat's on Tom Brady level and Belichick level yet, but man, they're knocking on that door.
It's
incredible.
He's incredible.
Which they are, because all of the Tom Brady fans are really agitated.
Yeah, we're not talking anything about kicks, right now, but I'm
not going to out the other Patriots fan that outed themselves to me yesterday because it's too soon.
The game was fantastic. The defenses were shokayed in the first half.
I
totally agree.
I really like the idea of that, where that almost the game is won during that halftime break. There's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the ability to go in, whoever can make the right adjustments is
going
to win
a game like that.
And
absolutely.
that's what happened. And a guy who's been there before got it done again.
Yeah,
and
he did.
It's credit to him. So fun time. So how was the dance? Can we just move off Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, the dance was good.
I did that thing.
Oh yeah. Last week was crazy. It's one of those weeks where Jesse is always out of town because his work conference is that week, and then we do this Valentine's dance, and we had birthday parties, and it was just a go. And I try not to overschedule our lives, but there's no getting around it on the whatever week of February, second week of February, whatever it is.
Up that, yeah.
And so, when we got to the dance, from my perspective on Friday night, I was utterly exhausted, and to the point I'm like, but I have to say, Skinner's barbecue, Deidre, her shins hurt.
Let's hear it.
Come
Let's hear
on.
it, Lauren.
Oh, my shins, I hurt my shins at the dance. I lost my shins.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Beth. Long time viewer.
It has been a
there.
while, yeah. Deidre at Skinner's, if you have a large, just a large thing, but she knocks the food out of the park.
Yeah, we've catered at Story Church before. It's good.
Because we did a 525 person catering order.
That's incredible.
Which is, and I'm going to talk about something else here in just a second on this line.
Uh-oh.
But Deidre and her crew at Skinner's deserve huge kudos. Francis Kelly's our DJ. He is incredible. He does a great job. Keaton did our ticket sales this year, and it was flawless.
Nice.
And
Good
so,
work, Keaton.
Keaton.
those are, I call them, I guess, vendors for the thing, have just been incredible. We had a photo booth, and I can't remember their name, and that was a ton of fun. I didn't book them, so I can't think of their name off the top of my head, but it was a really neat thing. And then, at the end of the night, we're packing up. Somebody messaged me and there's a really nasty comment. You need to address it. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
But did you? Did you need to?
You better.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I just deleted it. But literally,
sometimes that's the best way to address it.
Here's our deal with our dance. There are 1,100 students from kindergarten to 5th grade in Rogersville, around about, right? Real close to 1,100 students. This dance is for every kindergartner through 5th grader and their family, which means they might come with one person, they might come with 5 people. I mean, as I was scanning all the tickets as people were walking in, some of them were for 2 and some of them were for 5, and everything in between. So let's do some math here. If every kid showed up with a person, that's, about 2,000 to 3,000 people. If you come with a parent or, one parent or 2.
Yeah.
Okay? What facility in Rogersville would accommodate a dance with thousands of people.
It does not exist.
No.
Okay, so we have to limit tickets.
Sure.
Be for safety and for a catering order.
Yeah. I don't.
Because you don't want starts showing up.
If you've never built,
Yeah.
if you've never built something, the fire department will actually tell you the max number of people.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows.
And again, we're ordering a catering order, and as a nonprofit, which we are, you don't want to accidentally over order and spend an additional $5,000 on food you didn't need, right? So we limit tickets. We have to. There is no option for safety. Number 1. For lack of volunteers, number 2, and 3 for food.
Did I hear correctly that there was a spammer like selling false tickets? Counterfeit tickets.
So
that's how big of a deal this thing is.
That's how big of a deal.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we got bootleg tickets going. Wow. Which was another
Were they on
crazy
StubHub?
thing.
Like, how was that working?
I don't know.
I laughed so hard when I heard that.
I was just like, you got to be kidding me. This is something I'm having to deal with, and I got plenty of other stuff going on.
Wow.
And so we said from the beginning, there's limited tickets. We're going to sell out. We will sell out. Get your tickets
now. I saw
now.
the post.
And we did, but we sold out later this year than last year. So it was about 2 days before the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here came the comments.
Mm-hmm.
My kid's devastated, which I get that. I didn't, we didn't get there in time. Is there any way I can get tickets? And so then we put people together, if you can't come, blah, blah, blah. And then there was the scathing comment. Why would you invite kids to a dance that not all students can attend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? It's time to do better.
But everybody had an opportunity to buy a ticket, right?
Yeah, they just ran out.
Why did you wait?
Yeah.
Why did you not care enough about your kid to buy the ticket on time?
And honestly, I'm not even that irritated about this person's comment, and I didn't address it. But please remember who you are talking to.
Yeah. They're your friends. They're your neighbors. They're the people working hard.
The time to do better.
Full circle, right?
Yeah.
So back to the Kelsey comment.
Yes.
We have to learn how to communicate appropriately our feelings,
Yes.
right? So and part of that is stop for a second, time out. Who put this on? I wonder how much work they put in. I wonder how much effort that took. I bet that's really hard.
I agree, Shane. I've always thought
that's
that.
An excellent quote.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But I mean, they didn't think for a moment about you and the team and everybody else that put some effort in, and just how complex it is. They were thinking about who?
Themselves.
And I get that. We all do that. But part of growing up is going, okay, I screwed up. I should have ordered this sooner.
You set the tone as a parent. Here's how you handle that. Yeah. Kids, I screwed up. I didn't get tickets in time. Let's go bowling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we didn't do this. We'll hit it next year.
Yep.
You set the tone as a parent. Your child will not be devastated and permanently wounded because they missed a dance.
Unless you talk about how awful the school is and how they excluded you and how they don't like you.
And how they
they did this
better.
Against our family.
Yeah,
right?
It was personal.
It was personal, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yes,
like if you set that tone,
mentality.
Now your kids will have some damage. I'm not saying anybody did that, but I'm saying if we don't as parents respond appropriately to disappointment or frustration or hurt, we're going to teach our kids, this is how you react. You just blow up and you cause a big stir.
Spending a little time in East Asia, one of the things of their culture is they have this face-saving culture.
Yeah.
You don't want to be ashamed. If you're honor shame culture,
right?
Rather than we have a different culture here. It's a Judeo-Christian ethic, which is not based on honor shame. But one of the worst things still you can do to somebody if you really want to get some flashback is make them feel stupid. So you never want to approach a situation where you're going to make somebody else look or feel stupid unless you really want to get into it with somebody.
Yeah.
So if you can always give somebody the opportunity to get an out, and I'm not, obviously that wasn't the situation here. There's nothing to control, but I think you get that backlash from people because they know they screwed up.
Yeah.
And that is,
it's like a defense mechanism.
I was telling somebody this the other day. When I look back on my life, the times that I was most critical of others is when I knew I was kind of failing in some own areas of my own life. It's just easier than to deflect. And, so I'm feeling like I'm not doing well here. Hey, let's talk about how bad Lauren is today.
Yeah.
It's just easier, but you, at some point you got to grow up out of that.
Just that it's not my fault. Somebody else is at fault. I got to find somewhere else to put the fault so I can take the shame off of me.
Right.
But it's so much more mature, easier in the long run to just say, you know what, that was me. That was my screw up.
Yep.
And find a better solution.
Well,
And, in full transparency, I'll just be honest. Like that's been a long work in me.
We're
Okay,
all still working on it, right?
Oh yeah.
As I'm approaching 50, those things become pretty clear, but they weren't very
It
clear.
doesn't get better after you turn 50. I'm just telling you.
Well, no,
There's
I
no
mean,
magic line.
I think you see it much quicker than you did earlier in life.
But doesn't it make you feel stupid you didn't see it earlier?
Oh, it does. Yeah, I get kind of frustrated at myself, and I'm like, that's where I'm
It's
at.
like,
We'll
man,
move
I
on.
really should have grown up a lot sooner.
Well, like I'm 100% guilty of I will see 10 positive comments and hone in on one negative comment.
we all
And that's
do.
something I
Yeah.
need to work on.
Yeah,
And
we all
that
do.
comes from caring sometimes to a fault. That comes from, me, everything I do is a reflection on me personally. And a lot of people don't live their life that way.
Well, yeah, and we're sitting here talking about all this, but let's not forget, you guys put on an incredible event,
Yeah.
and hundreds of people had a great time.
And
So let's focus on that.
And and usually I can brush off one comment, but part of my frustration over the past week has been because I do multiple things. I help run this Rogersville residence page. People have got to stop using social media to just make digs at people.
That's right, Beth.
Just stop digging at people. Stop.
It's become sport.
It has. It's
Yeah.
become like an entitlement thing. Like I have access to this, I'm going to make a comment. Like I'm going to make a comment because the new restaurant in town, my eggs weren't hot enough.
It's a
or
catharsis
my
for
sandwich
people.
didn't have enough meat on it, or they need to do better at the Valentine's dance. And it's like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
And thing I love, that house is too expensive to rent. That house is too expensive to build. And I'm
That's
just like,
overpriced, yeah.
do you know anything about the subject you're commenting
market
on?
Yes,
forces.
everybody's an expert.
I don't have the Teddy Roosevelt quote on the wall, but the Man in the Arena. If you haven't read that one, you're not familiar with that one. Go look up Teddy Roosevelt, Man in the Arena. A little quote. It's a really good one.
Well, speaking of new restaurants, I did make it over to Divine after Doug was here on. Was he here Tuesday? And I
be there
went on
today.
Wednesday.
plan to be there
I had the Italian beef.
Oh,
It's a better nice.
I didn't do the sausage.
I really like the Italian
it was going to be a
beef.
bit much for me, but I tell you what, that was so good. And I hope people know, this is kind of a soft launch. Doing
Yeah,
lunch.
it is.
Yeah.
We went in there. It was packed.
Yeah, he was busy.
I did see some people see the line and go out. And when I
glad
first got
there's a
in there,
line.
it was a little warm, and he realized it. He was like, "Yeah, we gotta
Yeah,
get
it is
some-"
a little toasty.
And so he went and propped the door open because it was one of those 70-degree days last week.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that place, I am so excited because that food was so good. I can't wait to go back and try all of it.
Beth's on your side.
Thank you, Beth. I
And,
appreciate you.
can't wait for the dinner menu to eventually
The
open
guy's
up.
a
pumped.
pro. He is a legit pro,
Yeah.
Oh.
and we're so lucky to have him in Rogersville.
That
was
it's a
so
it's a
tasty.
steal.
So
it really
tasty.
is.
Well, and I knew when he opened, and I don't know why, but I knew there people are going to be, and I personally think his prices are extremely reasonable
do
because
too.
I know
Oh,
what type
yeah.
of product he's using. People still have the shell shock of what it costs to do things. And so I've really been trying to perfect these Detroit style pizzas at home, right? So I threw everything at it on Sunday when I made
Next thing you know, you
pizza
had a
for my
$50
friends.
pizza.
No joke.
Yeah, seriously.
I was trying to add up the amount of money I spent making that friggin' pizza. Well, I made 2. And I'm like,
We could have gone out, kids.
I mean, I spent $90 at Apple Market on my Super Bowl groceries, which were not anything extreme. or
90 didn't go very
excessive.
far.
And I was like, because I thought,
Thanks, Shanna.
Thanks. It is absolutely reasonable. So my thought was, if I had to sell this pizza right here, how much would I have to sell it for? Because it took 5 hours to make my dough. It took 9 cups of flour. It took 16 pounds of cheese I put on that thing.
Holy cow!
Not 16 pounds, but
Okay, I was like,
I mean,
wow.
but I
a
literally,
pizza.
Hyperbole much?
I literally was making it to try to make it like restaurant quality,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you how much it cost me to make it.
I'll tell you
I mean,
this.
that was a golden bite of pizza.
I made some smoked coleslaw and took it over to Doug, which,
Yeah.
by the way, I gave him the recipe. You can buy my smoked coleslaw from Doug if you really want to try that.
Nice.
But I made him a gallon of coleslaw. Mm-hmm. I think it cost me about $40
For a gallon.
Gosh.
for a gallon of coleslaw. By the time I get mayonnaise, sour cream, the coleslaw mix.
Now you'll
the
have left
cabbage.
over to make another batch, or that's it.
I had a gallon and a half when
Yeah.
I got done. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but it's high.
yeah, everything's expensive, and that's
Everything's
what I don't think
vinegar.
people understand what restaurant owners are going
need to
through
try
right
it
now.
out,
No,
Beth.
I don't think they are
Trying
either.
not to price yourself out of the market and at the same time have any margin at
Well,
all.
and if you
Pay
want
your people.
any sort of quality ingredient, you got to spend some serious dough.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy. And I feel like that's another reason why we're seeing a lot of restaurants that, used to be good. I'm talking about a lot of chains here. Used to be good, and now you go there and you eat and you're like, this doesn't taste the way it used to.
Yeah,
I think it's because their quality's gone because it costs. They can only charge so much at
or they can only afford to buy a little bit lesser value ingredient.
And I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see. I mean, inflation is a
It's here.
It's here,
It's here to
and
stay.
it's here to stay.
And it's real.
And I don't think we've quite caught up to how much money is going out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's tricky.
Yep.
Real
No,
tricky.
for sure.
Prices just don't go down,
Yeah.
particularly when they're primarily driven by increased labor costs, which is really what we're looking at here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We've just had the cost of labor has basically doubled in the past 5 years ish. And so that inherently means the cost of everything you buy is going to at least double.
Yeah.
Which topic for another show is why
Yeah.
minimum wage laws are absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and we got started late, but we've kind of hit our max. But it's an interesting time.
Yep.
I feel like we're at a point we've really never been at before, and in a lot of ways, right? These comments on social media, the costs of everything, and
It is, Vicky.
I hope that we as a country adjust a little bit, focus on the positives, try to make the world a better place, and not just sink in a ship of negativity and not being able to make it anymore. You know what I mean?
That's a great synopsis. The whole talk we're getting at here is just try to give some encouragement, some compliments. Rather than always going negative first. That will go a long way, especially if you really do care about your town. And I mean, if you're watching this, it's probably because you love Rogersville and care about Rogersville.
Yeah.
And that's why the three of us are here. We want to see this town succeed, and we want to give you good information about what's going on in the town. If we could just stop and appreciate people for what they do and thank people for what they're going about, what they're endeavoring to do rather than being so critical, I think it'd go a long way. And so I appreciate you saying that.
I want to challenge you two and all of our viewers. Go online today, find a business that you like, had a good experience with, leave them a 5-star review.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's do that today, because as business owners, we all know you get those negatives; they come in.
Yeah.
But the positive ones are really hard to come by.
Yeah, because you got 100 people that loved what you did. That would, in their mind, it's a 5-star.
Yeah, but
they don't go online.
They don't put it out
It's
there.
the angry one that
I'm going to
the
take a
cheese
step
was
further
cold.
too, and I've been doing this lately, and I'm not tooting my own horn. But when my kid comes home and has had a special moment at school with a teacher, send them an email.
That's good.
Nice.
Do it. No joke.
Your teachers need that. Let me just say that.
Bad.
They need to hear from you.
They need it bad.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
And so that's on top of Will. Let's do that. We can seriously make the world a better place.
Before we go, I'd be remiss to say I did make it to the Mexican restaurant during breakfast.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I had just eaten, so I watched my friend eat.
Couldn't do double
But
breakfast.
no, let me say this. It was so cool. The place was full.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
It was full, and I loved seeing that. So I do want to be positive on that note. Like, hey, good job. You guys you're going there and you're supporting it, and I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah.
The guy that was sitting across from me goes, man, this breakfast burrito
I love
is
it.
delicious.
I eat there almost every morning. Now I'm there about 6:30 or 6:45, and very other
old man time.
Yeah, old man time. There's not a lot of other people there other than us, the old men. But if you're an old man, feel free to come join us at 6:45 in the morning for breakfast.
Yeah. Rogersville's having a moment. Be
We
part
are.
of it.
Yeah,
be part of it.
You can't change the world, but you can change your little corner of it.
That's right.
We'll be back next week with more Morning Waffle. Thanks for watching.